Yeah, hi there. These comments, I'm going to just use your initials YA, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the Toefl IBT. And you sent me an email yesterday, and you also joined my course, so welcome to my online course. Let's take a look at your situation. You say, this is YS. I was your student at CSUSB ESL program during the summer and fall of 2014. And I would use here active voice, not passive voice, and say, and I just subscribe. And in this case, instead of putting the comma here, you can just put this. I am YS, who was your student at CSUSB ESL program during the summer and fall. And I just subscribed to your online course. If you remember me, I believe I do. You say, I am an international dentist. You don't need to put the comma there. You're really wanting to say here, I am an international dentist who is looking for, and I've reduced your adjective clause to just looking, a present participle. So I'm an international dentist looking for a good TOEFL score that I'm going to use future here, not hypothetical, that will help me to be admitted to a dental school. I would make this an adjective. My desired score is more than 95. The admission for school opens in April 2016. So I need, again here, I would probably say it like this. You need active voice here, not passive. So when you're already one of my students, right? So go to the grammar part of my course. I want you to review passive voice. So if you go to my course, notice how I click on this box. It says show all topics or show one topic. I'm just looking at one topic at a time, right? So here, if you go to the grammar section and take a look at this specific area here. Where is it? Here, passive verbs, lesson 19. So grammar lesson 19, I think you want to take a look at, because you're not exactly sure the difference between either active or passive voice. Okay, so if you said this, so I need to have taken the TOEFL exam at least 1 month before also. I'm thinking to take the exam in December just to see the improvements. I came across the website about your 90-day plan of studying, which I saw really matches my plan of taking the exam in December. I'd probably start here to avoid that mixed construction there. You can probably create a new sentence here. Maybe do this, put however. Do you advise me about another plan of studying? My PBT score, which I took in fall 2014, was about 510, but I feel, put a comma here, I would say here, but I feel many I feel many improvements in my language now from last year. Remember, improvements is a count noun. We use much with uncount nouns. So I also want you to take a look here based on some of your writing problems you're having right now. Take a look at, where is it? Let me find it right here. This one. Lesson number 16, count and non-count nouns. I think you want to take a look at that grammar lesson also based on the message that you sent me. And that's part of my job. I will drive you crazy, but part of my job, you're paying me, is to help you improve your language use, right? So as you improve your language use, which means your vocabulary and your grammar, you'll perform much better on the speaking and writing sections of the Toefl exam. You say, thanks anyway for your help. This is the same error before. You're joining independent clauses together with commas. You don't want to do that. So that's a sentence structure error. Now what you can do there to learn a little bit more about that error that you're making, where is it? Here. Grammar lesson number 25, comma splices. This is a problem in your writing right now. So take a look at this lesson. Number one, what is a comma splice? Number two, how do you repair it? And then three, make sure you're recognizing this error in your writing and you know how to edit this particular problem, especially for the Toefl exam. You say, I know you are a great professor. And I would put here, I am really satisfied that you're going to help me to boost my score to the one that I'm looking for. Okay. Now one more thing I'd like to have you take a look at based on that email here. This one, lesson number 20, articles, a, and the. When do you use these words? We look at these as noun markers. They occur before certain kinds of nouns, but which nouns? So that's another lesson that you can take a look at also. Okay, so you need to get a score of 95, but I'm pretty sure there's some other things here you haven't said. You probably need to get around 24 points out of 30 on the reading, am I right? And I'm guessing in the listening section you're probably looking for 18 points or higher on the listening section. The speaking, I think you're looking for 26 points out of 30 on the speaking, and then the writing, you're looking for 24 points out of 30. Now, anybody will tell you YA. Whenever anybody comes to me and they tell me their situation, the one thing that you will know for sure is I'm going to be honest. I will be honest with you, and you have a battle ahead of you. This is a very big battle. You can win this battle, but it's going to be painful. It's going to take a lot of time on your part. Are you ready? The question is, are you ready to do what it takes to get this score? Because TOEFL preparation and improving your academic English language abilities, this is not for the weak-hearted. You have to be very determined, you have to be very consistent, and you have to remember that you never ever, I mean never, you never give up until you have reached your goal. Now if you can say, yes, Michael, I'm ready to go, then I'm ready to help you. Okay, so you got a lot of stuff going on here. There's a lot of big language problems. I mean, if I just looked at this particular message that you sent me, I've noticed problems with your sentence structure, problems differentiating between active and passive voice, problems using articles, words like a, and the, and also problems using count and uncount nouns, right? So you have a lot of issues here, and this is just a very small message that you sent me. So I can imagine as you do your speaking and writing practice, a lot of these problems are going to be magnified even more. I will see more of your problems. So my guess is If your TOEFL score right now is about 510, that puts you at about 61, 62 out of 120. You want to go to 95. You're probably looking at probably close to 6 months. I'm going to be honest with you. So the good thing is you're starting your study early, and you want to try to get in by April 2016, and you will need all of your time and efforts to reach this goal. All right, so what do you want to do? What do you do? So 60% of your time right now, I'm going to give you some things that you can do right now. Now, if you don't do them, that's your business. I cannot force you to do anything. You have to be very motivated. I mean, if you think of it this way, I have a friend of mine who is a dentist in the United States. He has so much money, he bought his own airplane. And he flies all over the United States and the world in his own airplane. He owns 2 houses. He has a nice family. He's very happy. And I'm guessing he's making about $400,000 a year. That's what he makes as a dentist here in the United States. What does that mean? That means that his paycheck every month is probably between $40,000 and $50,000 a month, every 30 days. That's what's going to happen to you. If you become a dentist here in the United States and you finish your schooling, you can make a lot of money, right? Now, if that's not motivational, then nothing is, right? Now, of course, money is not the source of all happiness, but of course, money is important because it helps you support your family and all those kinds of things. Okay, so here's number 1. You want to start reading every day for 45 minutes. This is important. You can read newspapers, magazines, and longer books. I know that you live in San Bernardino. You live close to the library. The library has newspapers, the library has magazines, and the library has books. If you need to check out anything, you can certainly go to the library to do those things. But you need to start reading. If you're already doing it, keep doing it. You need to read for about 45 minutes every day. Now, while you do your reading practice, YA, you don't stop to check your phone. You don't stop to answer the door. You need to work on concentrating. You need to build your concentration in English. So this first suggestion is very, very important. Now, the next one. You also need to practice listening every day for about 45 minutes. You're in the United States, so you have ample opportunity to do that. So in your car, no Arabic music, no Arabic talk. You want to make sure you're listening to English all day in your car whenever you're driving. This is very important. Now, I got a great radio station for you, AM 640. If you go into your car, program it to AM 640. You'll get a lot of news. You'll get discussion of national and international events. That's a great station, and it really will help your listening comprehension abilities. Now, you need to get English TV if you don't have it. Now, as you watch TV, focus on news, documentary, history, and also science programs. These are going to be very, very important for you. Okay, also with your listening, if you want some good websites, I'll give you 3, and here's the order in which you should complete the information on these websites. I recommend for you, your English is kind of low right now, I'll be honest with you, looking at the email that you sent me. Now, I know that you got a 510 on the TOEFL exam, but when you're talking about getting 95 or higher on the IBT exam, your English skills are not very high right now, based on the goals that you're setting, right? So Randall Cyber Listening Lab is a great website. I recommend that you do this website first and start with the... Here, hold on one second. I'll call you right back. I'm doing a video. Okay, so Randall Cyber Listening Lab has 3 different kinds of what we call proficiency type listening activities. One is easy, then medium, and then difficult. Right? So you want to do that first. I would start probably based on your TOEFL score. Start with the easier activities first, then go to medium, and then go to difficult. Now the next website is National Public Radio. This one's going to be a lot harder, much more academic. It'll challenge you, but if you've already done Randall's Cyber Listening Lab, you'll be in pretty good shape. Then the third one that you can do is TED Talks. So those are the three websites I recommend. Now remember, as you're doing your reading and your listening practice, you need to be active, and you're actively involved as you do this by note-taking. You want to take a sheet of paper out every time you're reading something, every time you're listening to something. You should start taking notes. Trust me, if you have good, complete, accurate notes, that's going to really help you score high on the TOEFL exam. In fact, that is the key to getting a high score, is to have good notes and to make good use of your notes during the reading, listening, speaking, and writing sections of the exam. Okay, now that you've been doing the reading and the listening practice and the note-taking, I recommend that you write 3 250-word summaries weekly. You want to do this every week. Your summaries should be focusing on the main and the most important supporting points of the reading and the listening passages. Right? So each summary is 250 words. So you're writing 750 words every week with your writing practice. So you're not just doing reading and listening and note-taking, but you're also doing writing practice. Now you probably guessed what I'm going to say now. You should also give 3 60-second oral summaries each week. You should be speaking about the information that you read and listen to at these different websites, right? Or if you're using English TV, you can also do that. But you need to get comfortable writing and speaking about the information that you're reading and listening to, and you need to make good notes or take good notes and then make good use of those notes as you do your summaries. Now remember, as you're doing your summaries, you need to say things like the reading passage states that, or the author in the reading passage claims, or if you're talking about the listening, you might say the speaker in the lecture says, another point made in the listening passage is. What I'm saying is you need to make sure that you're framing your information from the point of view of the reading and the listening passage, not from your own point of view. That's important for integrated speaking and integrated writing. Now, if you're just doing these things here, I'm telling you, if you just do these first 5 things, maybe beginning today, I recommend maybe 2 hours every day until you reach your 95 score. This is what you're doing. So you cannot say, hey, I don't know what I need to do today. You know exactly what you need to do today. I've been teaching TOEFL now for over 20 years. I've been teaching TOEFL online now since about 2008, and I know what works. I know what will help you reach your goal. Okay, now, in addition to doing the first 5 things, each day, 40% of your time should be spent going over the lessons in my online TOEFL course. Now, I'm not going to actually recommend my 90-day TOEFL study guide for you. You have enough time, I think, between now and April to go through most of the lessons in my online course, and I think that you will need to go through most of those lessons. I recommend that you do not skip anything really, especially the vocabulary section. This is going to be very, very important for you. So first of all, here's my recommendation. I think to begin, I recommend that you start going through the vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar lessons. Do those first. This will probably take you 2 to 3 months. This is what you want to do first. Remember, vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar. That's my first 3 sections of my course. You really need to work on your vocabulary base. As I pointed out in my comments already, you have an enormous number of grammar issues, sentence structure, word choice, and so on that you got to solve. And this is going to help you do that. Now, my next suggestion is to go through the listening and the reading parts of my course. Now again, this will probably take you about 2 months. Especially during the reading, remember that reading is not always fun for everybody. It's going to take you some time to really solve some of your reading issues. Okay, so remember during the reading, there's five things you have to do to improve your reading, right? And I know that you probably have some reading problems based on your Toefl score. So you have to build your vocabulary. You have to do the extensive reading I already suggested in this video for about 45 minutes a day for several months. You need to improve your reading speed, believe it or not, to about 300 words per minute. You need to become familiar with the Toefl IBT reading question types and the strategies for answering them. And finally, you need to take some Toefl level reading practice tests so you can mark your progress. If you can do those 5 things, you'll improve. And that's part of what my website will help you with. And then, I'm going to recommend right now, once you've done the reading and the listening, then you can focus more on the speaking and the writing lessons of my course. You can do that. Probably another 2 months. Now, if you want, I know students get a little bit restless. If you want to start doing some speaking and writing immediately, you can send those to me. I have a VoxyPop discussion group you have to join, and you can post your speaking online. My rule is just 1. You can only post 1 speaking and 1 writing practice test per day. And I will make sure they get graded, and I'll comment on them in a timely fashion. So these are really my recommendations right now. My number 9 recommendation is you can complete a full-length Toefl level practice test if you want to. And I would recommend, because your Toefl score right now is so low and you need to get 95, it's probably a waste of money even in December to take the Toefl. You want to spend $200 to take the exam. Now, if you have enough money and it's not a problem, go ahead and do it. But if your budget's a little bit tight, I recommend that you take one of my full-length Toefl level practice tests. It takes 5 hours, just like the real Toefl. You can take the practice test. It's in the 8th section of my course, and then you can get a score back in about 2 to 3 days, and then you can see your progress that way. You see what I'm saying? So you might do that in December. So I'd recommend that you either do a full-length practice test, or you can register for the official Toefl exam and do that. So we got it. I think we have it. So we have 60% of your time right now is spent going through these or doing these first 5 steps. Notice how these things here, they have nothing to do with my online Toefl course. You could have been doing this yesterday, right? But these things have everything to do with improving your academic English language proficiency. Don't forget, you need to be recording, giving and recording your oral summaries of the reading and listening passages. You should listen to your recordings and pay really close attention to your pronunciation, language use, and topic development. Now, as you do the writing and speaking practice in steps 4 and 5 here, I don't need to read these or listen to these. You're doing these for your own practice. And then as you complete the lessons in my course, as you start doing the speaking and writing lessons here, that's when I will start scoring those practice tests. Now, my recommendation now is to bookmark the video. I'm sending you this YouTube video. I want you to bookmark it and maybe watch this video once a week to remind yourself what you need to be doing. You should not let a day go by that you do not do something here. Now, what are my recommendations? It's going to be tough. I told you that Toefl study is not easy. If you want to reach your goal of 95, you're looking at anywhere from 3 to 4 hours every day for the next several months. You need to be spending time going through steps 1 through 5 and also completing steps 6 through 9. And little by little, you will begin to make progress and you will be able to meet that goal. Now think about it for a minute here. You remember what I just said earlier? So you want to be admitted into a dental school. I mean, think about the benefits of being a dentist. That is a great job, one of the top jobs here in the United States, probably even in your own country. It's probably one of the top jobs you could ever have. So think of the reward. So every time you wake up in the morning and you go, oh man, I got to do another 3 or 4 hours of Toefl study, remember why you're doing this. And that should keep you motivated. All right. Anyway, thank you very much for your comments. I'm glad to have you as one of my students. And all the best to your high-scoring Toefl success.